Finish him.
Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'm back with another video. Let's talk pay-per-view numbers. Specifically, Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, the rematch. Now, I find it funny that these numbers haven't been released yet. Typically, if a pay-per-view is successful, they get those numbers out as soon as possible. Let's look at Deontay Wilder and your boy Gypsy King. They did like 350,000 plus pay-per-view buys, if I'm not mistaken. Like 350, 380K. And, you know, that was what? Wilder's first... No, that wasn't his first pay-per-view. My bad. And that was his second pay-per-view. Well, you know what? It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take away from the point of this video. Because from what I'm hearing, and shout out to Sporting Icons, because this is where I saw the news, apparently the fight between Wilder Ortiz did 138,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, for a fight that was heavily promoted, commercials everywhere, talking internet, television, all forms of media, this fight was talked about a lot. And it did poorly if those are the pay-per-view numbers. And, you know, I don't deny that those are the actual pay-per-view numbers because, you know, they haven't officially released them yet. And when they come out, they just might be doctored. I mean, you know, there are certain channels out there who are all about these conspiracy theories, you know, when it comes to Deontay Wilder, because that's their guy. And, you know, the bottom line is Deontay Wilder's just not a draw like that. He's just not a draw. If Deontay Wilder were a draw, his name would be in everyone's household. I mean, just look at Mike Tyson in the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, he was a huge name. Deontay Wilder today is arguably the hardest puncher in the heavyweight division, has knocked out all of the opponents he's been in the ring with. But somehow this doesn't translate to popularity at all. You know, a lot of his fans get on here and they defend him, and, you know, it just goes to show you that, you know, his fans online, very small population of people, very small pockets of people. And the thing is, I don't even hate Deontay Wilder. I never hated Deontay Wilder. But what sickens me is the massive amount of sack writing that occurs when you bring up Deontay Wilder and you say something to critique the guy and people go off, oh, unsubscribe. You're talking about Deontay. That's I love him. I want to see him give birth too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be like that. But, you know, we just speak facts over here. I mean, the pay-per-view between Luis Ortiz flopped. He's not a draw, man. He's definitely not a draw. He needed Gypsy King in order to sell a good number of pay-per-views. And he better hope that he doesn't duck him next year. Because, I mean, that's really the only way he's going to sell a lot of pay-per-views is if he fights Gypsy King. So, you know, 138,000 pay-per-view buys. The pay-per-view model is dead, man. I mean, ain't nobody trying to spend $100 for no pay-per-view. That's how much the fights are over here. Like $100 plus dollars for HD. You know, nobody's trying to spend that much. And Deontay Wilder is most likely, I mean, well, I was going to say he most likely going to knock his opponent out. He's knocked out everybody he's been in the ring with. It did take him a little while to knock out Ortiz. But, you know, Ortiz was winning that fight before he got knocked out. You know, but a lot of people can say that they were beating Wilder before they got knocked out. So, the thing is, what's after Luis Ortiz? What do you do after Ortiz? I mean, Joshua, I like he don't want no smoke. And Andy Ruiz, if he beats Joshua, he ain't going to get a chance to unify with you. That ain't happening. They're not going to let that happen. And someone said that that unifications trump a mandatory. And you're very right about that. But when there's lots of politics involved, you know, the powers that be will make sure that fight doesn't happen. So, again, weak pay-per-view numbers. I believe the Crawford-Khan fight did better numbers than that, and there was like no advertising for that fight. This fight was big. I mean, for a guy that, you know, a lot of these people, these YouTubers worship and have such great things to say about, and saying Wilder's like the next dude up, and, you know, he's going to surpass Mayweather. Like, it's all far-fetched, man. None of that stuff's possible at the moment in 2019, going into 2020. If you think Deontay Wilder is the next pay-per-view draw, then I don't know what to tell you, man, because he's not. Like, again, the pay-per-view model is pretty dead right now. You know, I'd rather pay for a subscription to a boxing service, or just, you know, to like Showtime, HBO, DAZN. I'd rather spend money on a subscription and bootleg your pay-per-view. That's what I'd rather do. And I've done it in the past. It's not a big deal to me, unless it's something I really like. Like I said in the previous video, the only pay-per-view I think I bought this year with my own money was probably Pacquiao Thurman, because I really wanted to see that. But yeah, I mean, Wilder, Ortiz too. I mean, honestly, you know, I was just getting back into boxing again. You know, I was watching it sparingly, but it was a little boring. The fight was a little boring until he got knocked out. And like I said before, even before he got knocked out, he was outboxing Deontay Wilder. That fight could have went the other way had Luis Ortiz been, you know, a little bit more focused on the task at hand. And, I mean, he was doing a good job. That right hand, man. Again, Deontay Wilder got the biggest right hand in the game. So he dispatched of Luis Ortiz. And then just the post-fight chatter just sickening to me, man. I just can't deal with Deontay Wilder's overly emotional side. It's just too much sometimes. But again, in closing, Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, part 2, went triple wood and sold 138,000 pay-per-view buys. Not an official number, but, you know, according to SI, this is a guy that's pretty reputable. So I'm going to go with that, 138K, especially since they haven't released the numbers officially yet. I mean, they could release them tonight or tomorrow. But as of right now, I couldn't find any, like, concrete evidence on how well the pay-per-view did. So with regard to that and Fox, since they're not talking about it, I can only surmise that it did poorly. You guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. Trying to be more consistent. It's coming back to me, you know. It's coming back, and I'm getting comfortable doing the videos again. So be on the lookout, man. I'll be dropping more heat the rest of the week, rest of this month. Try not to disappear into obscurity. Hitman Boxing. Drop a comment, like the video, subscribe, and I'm out.